There is something that the ANC will never get to understand in their entire lifetime. Or rather, let me put it this way. There's one thing that the ANC refuses to understand or to accept as an organization. And that is to say that you can never build a successful and prosperous country in a state of chaos and anarchy and lawlessness that South Africa finds itself as a country. And when I try to rationalize this, for me, it would seem that the ANC deliberately refuses to accept this fact because they are heavily invested in crime and corruption. They are heavily implicated. Even their president, Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa, stated it point blank. There are times when he gets to unwittingly reveal the truth. Like the fact that the opposition delivers better, all those kind of things. Time and again, as much as he's very good at, it's a good wordsmith, spin doctoring, there are times when it just slips, the truth just slips off his tongue. And before you know it, oops, he has said it. He said that the ANC was corruption accused number one. One of the few truths that the president has told regarding the state of the country or the misdeeds of the ANC. There's one thing that the ANC also refuses to understand. And maybe as a country we are complicit in that too. We think that law and order should be a result of job creation. No. Law and order and stability is the first step in job creation. I don't think even analysts, even economists or other experts are able to contextualize that. We don't have to wait for job creation to have law and order. We must ensure law and order. We must see law and order, a crime-free South Africa, as the first step towards job creation. That way will not excuse crime and say, oh no, they committed crime because they are poor. They committed 1, 2, 3 because they are underprivileged. No, crime is crime. We shouldn't speak with a forked tongue. We need to call things a spade a spade. Crime is crime. And we mustn't try to excuse it. Because that's the only way we can create jobs. No one would want to invest in a country that is lawless, where extortion rings are running rampant and demanding contracts and revenues that they didn't work for. Now, let me start this political commentary the way I wanted to start it. During the early 1990s, when the ANC was banned and the country was heading towards a multi-party democracy, the first ever democratic election in South Africa, the ANC produced a document called Ready to Govern. And the nation rallied behind them. And you could understand why we had to rally behind the ANC. If you look at the lineup of struggle royalty, the quality of leadership that was there at the time, the likes of Thabo Mbeki, Chris Hani, the great Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela, Walter Sisulu, you name them. That claim of the ANC was believable at the time. And let's be honest, the ANC started on a very good note. Mandela's administration, given the tasks that it was seized with, stabilizing South Africa, building, reconciling the nation, he did a sterling job. And I mean, the man is not immortal. He had spent most of his energy in prison. We could only expect so much, and he did a sterling job of stabilizing and shifting the balance of forces in favor of the progressive forces in South Africa, those who were in favor of democracy. Thabo Mbeki did a great job. I mean, it's on record that South Africa saw the greatest economic growth During Mbeki's era, around 2009, I think 2008, 2009, the economy grew at an unbelievable percentage, 6%, 5 to 6%. You contrast it with the 1% of economic stagnation, lack of growth that has been going on for decades and decades. I mean, it just turns Thabo Mbeki into a superstar. Unbelievable, because at the time we took it for granted. Now, you fast forward from Thabo Mbeki to the most recent period, from Zuma's administration to President Cyril Ramaphosa. Suddenly, the wheels just seem to come off. Record-breaking unemployment, the high murder rate, crime, all manner of funny things. South Africa, I mean, you look at South Africa, it's unrecognizable. The levels of lawlessness and chaos are just unbelievable. And I'm here to ask this question. Were we all sold a lie when the ANC said they were ready to govern? Or perhaps they just betrayed their commitment to the task of governing and gave in to the lure of corruption and the easy life. What is happening in South Africa today doesn't seem like the ANC took time to apply their thoughts on how they were going to govern this country. We are in a state of lawlessness. Bad actors who are South Africans, bad actors from anywhere in the world can just come, occupy buildings. I never imagined that in my lifetime I would see houses in suburbs being hijacked. I never thought that buildings in the CBD could be hijacked, especially by even South Africans themselves and even foreigners. Everyone is just free for all. I never thought I would see people being mowed down in Tavern. Scores of people being killed, and it becomes normal. Such a tragedy happens and the president hardly mentions it. It seems like it's something that is beneath him. Yet at the same time, the president, if there's something that he doesn't apply his mind to, he doesn't take time to apply his mind to, it is to authorize an increase for politicians and the public servants. Today we are talking about untold lawlessness in the country, whilst we have got two ministers of safety and security. So 2 ministers at twice the level of lawlessness and corruption. But the president is still applying his mind, I suppose, to the Madlanga Commission. He's not in a hurry. He's buying his time, biding his time. So that's where we are, South Africa. The lawlessness. I don't want to repeat because I sound like a record with a scratch. Talking about the murder rate, crime rate, corruption. This is where we are as a country. And I don't believe the ANC applied their mind properly to the task of governing. They took us for a ride. If they studied China, if they even look at China today, they would know that China was not built on the progress. The second largest economy in the world was not built on the back of corruption or on the back of lawlessness like we have in South Africa. And The other thing that irks me is the fact that we seem to be held hostage to a constitution that seems to so liberal to the extent that it affirms individual rights at the expense of the common good of the whole country. People can come from wherever they are, occupy a building, and they've got rights. I mean, if there are loopholes in the constitution, why don't we amend the constitution? The Swart Gevaar, there was this fear that with the majority, the black government would change the constitution to the detriment of those who still have the spoils of apartheid. This has made the constitution sacrosanct to the point where even for good intentions, we don't even want to touch the constitution. And the constitution was made for us, South Africans. We were not made for the constitution. If it's not serving us, if it's outdated, if it has created loopholes that will collapse the country, we must tear up this piece of paper, amend it. It must be a living document. It must respond to the challenges that we are encountering at the moment. Because criminals have realized that this constitution gives them a very good safety net, a very good protection. So they are exploiting it to the disadvantage of law-abiding citizens. So South Africans, let's apply our mind to this thing. We cannot continue as it is. The constitution, where it doesn't serve us, needs to be amended. If the ANC applied their mind to the task of governing whilst they were in exile, they had plenty of time. They would know that Singapore, they would know that Japan, those economies were built on the back of a strong law and element of law and order in the country. Without law and order, you've got nothing. You can enjoy all the rights, but without safety and security, you are nothing. We can have the best constitution in the world, but without safety and security, we are in trouble. The country needs to survive in order for the constitution to serve us. It doesn't help to protect the constitution at the expense of the country, because as it is, the country is collapsing under this free-for-all democracy, so-called. So this is the voice in the wilderness. You tell me, what do you think about the subject? I've seen Premier Lesofie, just to conclude my remarks, when I'm talking about the constitution that seems to be sacrosanct. The man was clueless. The Zamazamas that are running amok, alleged to be cutting off the fingers of people to terrorize them. Lesofie just seemed clueless. He was just like me, powerless as I am. He just seemed not to know what to do. He was looking back and with regret. We allowed people to occupy land. We shouldn't have done that. Why did you allow these kind of things? Why did you allow it? It is this sympathy with criminals and lawlessness that you see within the ANC that got us to where we are. Yes, human rights are important, but there must be non-negotiables. There must be non-negotiables. Crime must be crime. Our rights must come with responsibilities. Otherwise, the country has no future. Because we are collapsing under the weight of lawlessness. We have moved from an apartheid state where law and order was applied unjustly to the extreme. And we have swung, the pendulum has swung to the extreme of anarchy and chaos to a point that we are suffocating. under the yoke of democracy. Democracy without safety is useless. This is the Voice in the Wilderness. My name is Rendani. If the content resonates with you, please like and subscribe. Let me know what you think about this issue. I'm saying Panyazali Sufi. I mean, the man was beside himself with confusion. If the Constitution is tying our hands to do the right thing, amend the Constitution. Amend that piece of paper.